Hello, welcome to episode 14. Here I am in Chichester. I've just come down from the Isle of Skye. There's a song in there somewhere, I think. And I've had a very uncomfortable coach journey, and I'm now here, having got on the wrong train and wound up in Bognor Regis, but that's another story. And I've been hinting on the internet that we've got a new toy and that it's rather big. Well, this isn't it.
Our story starts as I embark on the epic 600-mile coach journey to Chichester. Our Facebook friends have been trying to guess what on earth we're up to this time. Suggestions range from us getting a scorpion tank to a hand-cranked fairground organ. Our friend Maggie suggested that we might be getting a camel to take over from the Jeep tours. Maggie, stop taking those tablets immediately. Our friend Clive suggested that I'd bought another wife off the internet. Thank you, Clive. Our friend Kevin confessed to being back on the hypertension tablets. Possibly the suspense was getting a little out of hand. So, for Kevin's sake, it's time to put you all out of your misery and reveal Boris to the world. Boris used to be an army mobile radio repair workshop, possibly of Eastern European or even Russian origin. Now, however, he's possibly the most bonkers holiday accommodation unit, and he's ours. Boris's previous owner had him converted inside by craftsmen who are more used to building multi-million-pound luxury yachts than old bits of military hardware. They've done a fabulous job too. The living quarters inside are a considerable upgrade from standard army issue. Lynne and I had endured many a sleepless night worrying if we could actually get him over the Carlray Pass with its twisty roads, dodgy bridges and terrifying gradients. Clearly we would need expert help, and we were delighted to find Ashley Cooper of Ashley Cooper Turf, who agreed to do the haulage job for us on his mighty low loader. A few hours later, somewhere on the M6, it was time for bed, and I'd completely forgotten to book a Travelodge. Oh well, never mind. Time to try Boris out for the very first time.
Hello, if I do that you can see me. There we go. This is just such incredible fun. I'm having such a good time. We're halfway up the M6 or so. I don't care where we are. I'm in a pod. This is about as much fun as you can have with your clothes on, which actually means I'm going to take my clothes off. So if you don't mind, good night, viewers, and see you in the morning.
Well, I have to say that even without all his amenities connected up, Boris was extremely comfortable. Day 2 of the journey started with a service station fry-up for Ashley and me, and a somewhat more expensive drink for the lorry. Soon enough we were on the road again. We need some jolly good truckers' music, don't you think?
Hello viewers, well it's all going extremely well. We're making extremely good time. We're in the middle of Glencoe at the moment. Have a look. Ta-da! And the roads have been really kind to us, and Lynne's going to meet us just north of Fort William, and then I'll be able to get some shots of the thing in motion, so very excited about that.
Sure enough, a few miles further on at the Glengarry viewpoint, Lynne was there to meet us and catch her first glimpse of Boris the military pod. Anyone would have thought it was quite exciting.
Oh, sweetheart, look at you. Hello, darling, how are you? What do you think? Hello. Pod. Not that you're happy at all in any way, shape or form.
What?
Hello!
No!
For the final leg of the journey, I hop into the Jeep so that I can take some Top Gear style footage of Boris on the move. Some say he's the most bonkers self-catering accommodation unit on Skye, and that underneath he's a suite from the Savoy Hotel. All we know is he's called Boris. Being in the chase vehicle with Lynne and trying to capture some good video is a good distraction from the niggling worry that we still have the Carlray Pass to negotiate. Something in the back of my mind tells me that it's quite possible that we've just bought a 4.5-ton military trailer which we can't actually get to Skye Jeep Tours HQ. So far, thanks to Ashley Cooper and his mighty truck, all is going unnervingly well. That, as they say, was the easy bit. For those of you that don't know, the Carl Ray Pass is the highest, twistiest, and some would say the awesomest road on the Isle of Skye, and we live at the wrong end of it. Somehow we have to get a 4.5-ton Boris over the mountain and parked up on our croft. Time to call in another expert, and this time it's Joff from Corrie Motors in Broadford. As well as running a great garage, Joff is the go-to guy when you want anything big moved. Some people say he can negotiate an 8-berth static caravan through a keyhole without it touching the sides, and that his telehandler is actually called Mavis. All we know is he's called Joff from Corrie Motors. OK, enough with the Top Gear commentary and on with the increasingly cold, wet and soggy story of getting Boris installed.
Boris, Boris, Boris! Boris, Boris!
Stage 1 of Operation Boris, we were assured, would be a doddle. Joff's truck was big enough to get Boris and Mavis over to Carl Ray without demolishing any bridges or snagging on the safety barriers. This, I have to say, had been my chief concern and had cost me a fair bit of sleep over the past few weeks. I needn't have worried though. Clearly I was in good hands. "24 hours previously, the weather had been utterly gorgeous. Clear blue skies, no wind, no midges yet, perfect conditions for moving Boris and for making a video all about it. Today, however, the conditions were a tad more Scottish. It was freezing cold and the rain was getting worse. Were we really going to be able to get Boris in place in these conditions? Were we going to have to take him back to Broadford and try again another day? Fortunately, it'll take more than a dose of filthy weather to stop Joff in his tracks. We were now tantalisingly close to our house. Boris had travelled 647 miles and now had less than a mile to go. Time to offload, and for Boris and Mavis to get hitched. Then came the small matter of the bridge. I'd been out with my tape measure and by my calculations we would have about 20 centimetres each side. Ish. If everybody breathes in, we should just about do it. Phew, well, that's about the 14th sigh of relief of the day, and we're not there yet. At last Boris makes it onto our property. Surely all we do now is wheel him into place. What could be simpler? Well, it turns out that the most difficult stage of this epic journey is going to be the last 3 yards. Having unhitched Boris and Mavis, we now have to coax Boris into the perfect position. Boris, it seems, has chosen this particular moment to become ever so slightly stubborn. And now a gentle shove from behind, and...
Whoa, he's coming up!
Oh dear, my frayed nerves can't stand much more of this. Mavis, it turns out, can be very persuasive though, and eventually inches her new friend into position. Oh, happy day.
Pays to flop the thing down.
Yeah,
Look,
it looks
brilliant,
fantastic.
Look.
He's a very, very clever man. Joff, he's the man.
Well done, Joff. Brilliant.
You've lost some daffodils.
Well, what's a daffodil when
What
you've got
should we-
a pod?
They'll come back next year.
Of course you will.